Ladies and gentlemen, do I have a good one for you? Let's hit the road and talk about how my bike got stolen. You might want to sit down for this one because it's quite an interesting story. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel, and do we have a good one for you guys today? Kind of a cautionary tale, a learning lesson, whatever you want to classify it as. Let me turn down Sean Kingston over here in my headset. Today's story brought to you by insurance. Make sure you have it. Okay, so I want to preface this by saying this is my first bike. I have never really bought an actual bike before. I mean, I did have, as I said in the first video of the channel, a Honda Grom, but that isn't really a bike that you can commute to or reliably rely on to take you to point A from point B, especially in longer distances, right? So I consider this technically my first bike. And so I bought this bike in February. I decided, hey, if not now, then never, because in my opinion, once you have kids, having no riding experience before, it's kind of hard to justify to your wife saying, hey honey, I know we just had a human life brought into this world, so I'm gonna go ahead and buy a sports bike, one of the most dangerous things you could probably get for the road, and having her think that, yeah, it's gonna be fine. Like, sure honey, go ahead, buy yourself a sports bike. In an ideal world, that's how it would work, but that's not how life works. And things change, priorities change as situations change. This guy doesn't even have lights on. Well, he does, but they're low as fuck. So I got the 2018 Honda CBR600 from a dealership up in the Fort Lauderdale area. And at that time I still had a job, but I was looking for a new job. I just wasn't really happy where I was. If it had gotten kind of monotonous, it was boring, kind of felt like you had no purpose at work. That kind of vibe to it. So I was like, let me look for a new job, whatever. So lo and behold, we bought the bike February 28th. Just literally a week later, I was on vacation for my birthday, and I got a call because I had been applying and interviewing and stuff like that. I was like, hey, we have a job opportunity for you, and it pays more money, and it was something more specialized. I'm in the finance field, and it was something more specialized in that field. It was something that I thought would be interesting, and I decided to take it. So I was like, hell yeah, let's go for sure, why not? So I went ahead and took the job. New bike, new job, man, life's going great. Looking forward to the next decade. So as part of the new job training, I was required to go into the office every day, 5 days a week. And you guys are probably like, well, why is he saying this? I think it will make sense later on in the story as to why I feel like that made a big difference. So the job I had before was remote. So I really only worked 3 days in the office, and this one was technically 2 days in the office, but for your first 3 months you had to be there 5 days a week for the first 3 months. So whatever, I was like, fine, it's a lot closer to my house, I don't mind going 5 days a week just for the first 3 months, it's chilling. And effectively that's what I did. So given that it was closer, I was like, you know what, I'll take the bike, because that way I don't have to deal with traffic, it's not that many miles, and I'll just take the bike. So I got insurance on the bike when I bought it, just kind of like the bare minimum, which in the state of Florida is basically like personal and property liability, and that's pretty much it. And no full coverage, no comprehensive, nothing like that. I I was going to the office 5 days a week for the first month. And one day, I go into work, normal day, and then just before lunchtime, or after lunchtime, I honestly can't even remember at this point. I think it was before lunchtime. The head of security for the building comes in, and he's like, "Hey, you're the one with the bike, right?" And I was like, "Yeah, I have my helmet right here at my desk. It's clear to me. I don't ride my helmet when I drive my car." And he's like, "Cool. So, by any chance, did you have anyone come in to pick the bike up in order to get serviced or something like that?" And I was like, "No, not really. Not as far as I know." And then he's like, "Sick. Well, I have some bad news. I think your bike was literally just stolen off the parking lot." And now, I'm a pretty calm guy, so I was like, "Bruh. First of all, let's go out there. Let's see, what happened." So effectively, we go out, and true, it's not a prank. My bike is actually gone out the parking lot where I work. And so where I'm like, "Well, did you guys get them? Were you guys able to find them or something? Whatever the case may be." It's like, "No, they got away. I mean, we had a guy that told us that there was some guy in the parking lot stealing the bike, and when we came out, they were already gone." So I'm like, fantastic. So we end up calling the cops. That's the chain of events that you should kind of take place. Confirm your bike was stolen, then call cops. So we called cops, filed a police report. They say, it's going to be assigned to our vehicle recovery unit. So the investigators of the vehicle recovery unit, so they can go ahead and investigate and hopefully find your bike. Cool, perfect. So in the meantime, we go up there and we check cameras, because the good thing is that the building had cameras. And effectively, yeah, we're able to see... Oh, Harley rider, nice. Effectively, yeah, we were able to see... It was 3 dudes, 1 driver, 2 passengers, showed up in a Chrysler Pacifica. Now, I don't know if it was the Pacifica or the Nautica or whatever the case may be, but it was that kind of van where they had the middle seats and the rear seats completely taken out of the car. 2 dudes in a mask get out, literally carry the bike as if it was a child's toy, and load it up in less than a minute. That was all literally less than a minute. In and out, quick, boom, gone. And they rode out. And at that point, it starts hitting me. I'm like, damn, dude, my bike's actually gone. I got this thing literally a month ago, and my bike is gone. I call the insurance. They're like, "You have the police report?" I'm like, "Yep, here it is." I gave them the case number, and they're like, "Great. So it turns out you don't have full coverage, so that means, you're fucked. We're not gonna pay you shit. So good luck, bro." I'm like, fantastic. So no bike, nothing. So the money that I paid for it, gone. And I'm like, great. Well, that fucking sucks. So I don't know if you guys know how things work, but the time it takes for the police report to actually get assigned to an investigator, at least here in Miami-Dade County, it takes almost 2 weeks, bro. And I am the type of person that I don't like to sit around not doing fucking jack shit. So I say, well, let me, use the information that I have to see if I can uncover anything myself. And in the footage, we were able to see the license plate on the car. And it was an out-of-state tag on the Chrysler Pacifica or Nautica, whatever the fuck it is. I'll post a picture on it here on the video so you guys can see what the fuck I'm talking about. But it had out-of-state tags, and then with the tag, I managed to find the VIN of the vehicle online. I went ahead and with the VIN number, went on the Carfax thing, because you can just look up a VIN number on a Carfax and it'll tell you, basically the history of the vehicle. So it turns out this vehicle was registered in Minnesota, and holy shit, this guy scared the crap out of me. It was registered in Minnesota, and it was a rental vehicle. So I'm like, very interesting. It was a rental car, so that must mean that they rented it. They gave their ID, driver's license, because you kind of need to give that to a rental company before they let you go with the car. And they paid for it somehow, hopefully not cash. So then I started doing the next logical thing. And I'm like, okay, well, let me see the rental companies that are closest to my job. And I start calling one by one, and I'm like, hey, my name is so-and-so, and I'm calling because I believe that one of your vehicles was involved in theft of my motorcycle, and I have the plate. Is it raining? It's actually fucking raining right now. God damn, that's disgusting. Well, I have the plates, and I kind of want to confirm if this vehicle belongs to you, because it's a rental car. And everyone was very helpful. So I called on, I don't remember now, Enterprise, Avis, like all of the fucking insurance companies, basically. Not insurance. I called all of the rental companies that you can think of. And eventually, one of them said, yeah, hey, this vehicle is actually one of ours, but it's actually from a different office in Hialeah. And I'm like, what the fuck? Hialeah? That's like, I don't know, 10, 15 miles away from where I work, so I'm not really expecting that. And they're like, yeah, so when was the date of the theft? And I was like, well, it happened on this date. And the lady on the phone, very helpful, God bless her soul, she was like, are you sure it was on that date? And I'm like, yeah, because that's what it says on the police report, and that's on the security cameras. That's the thing we have. And so she's like, well, it shows that that vehicle was actually in our facility at that date. It wasn't being rented by anyone. And so I'm like, huh, interesting. How the fuck is that possible? How is a vehicle used to steal my motorcycle and it wasn't rented by someone? So I start thinking possibilities in my head, things like that, of what might have happened, and whatever, blah, 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 blah. And so I'm like, dude, it had to have been an inside job. Like, there's no way it's not an inside job. Like, who else is going to have access to that vehicle if it's in their facility and it wasn't rented by anyone? So while that's going on in my head, the lady on the phone says, hey, actually that location, I'm going to have to reach out to the owner because it's a franchise location. It's not one of the corporate locations. So we're going to have to reach out to the owner. And I'm like, oh, it's even a franchise. It's not even a corporation. So now at this point, I'm like 100% sure it is an inside job. No questions about it. And, dude, why is it so dark here, bro? Like, the streetlights don't work? Hello? What's the point of paying for taxes if, like, streetlights ain't working? Like, are you kidding me? So at this point, I'm like, oh, for sure, inside job. At this point, like, there's no question about it. Like, no ifs, ands, or buts. And so the lady said, well, here's the location to it, to, like, our facility where it's at. And then I was like, all right, bet. So me being freaking stupid, and I don't recommend anyone to do this, obviously. I drive to the location where this vehicle was stored at, the rental van that they used. And guess what's there? The rental van. Holy shit, we're on to something, boys. The rental van is right there with the same plates. Now, the people had actually switched the rear plates to the front of the car, and the plates that were in the front of the car were put towards the back of the car. So, which I don't even know if that's legal. I doubt it, because there were two different plates, one in the front, one in the back, and both of them were completely different. So I don't go into the store at that point, because I'm like, okay, well, you know, perfect. Let me tell the investigator, which hadn't even been assigned to at this point. I found this out in the course of 2 days. No investigator assigned. So I tell the investigator, like, hey, this is the information I have. I was able to get that through just my own research and blah, 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 blah. And he's like, great, we'll look into it. That basically means, fuck you. Leave me alone. I know what I'm doing. So I'm like, fantastic. I guess we'll just wait now and see what happens. So, you know how these things, well, I don't know if you guys know, but these things with the cops work extremely slow. Like, this shit is just like agonizing, and there's nothing you could do, because what the fuck are you gonna do? Walk in there and be like, hey bitch, you stole my bike, give it back? Like, no dude, like that wouldn't be the smartest thing to do. So I go to celebrate. That was in February. March and April pass along, no bike. No, I bought the bike in February, and that happened like, I don't know, like early to mid-April. Bike's gone, because I had the bike for like pretty much a month. And then May comes along, and I'm celebrating my anniversary with my girlfriend. Basically a month and a half after the incident happened, or like just a little bit under a month when the incident happens. And we go to Vegas, we celebrate, we go see the Adele concert, blah, blah, blah. It was great, recommended if you guys can go. And I come back and I have a voicemail on my phone, and it says, hey, my name is Detective So-and-so, we found your bike. And I'm like, holy shit, yes, my bike has been found. No information on the bike, nothing. So I'm like, okay, great. They leave me the phone number for the junkyard, or the wherever they store, whatever the fuck that's called, the lot. And they're like, it's here, you can go pick it up. So I go to the lot, and I'll insert the videos I have of it, how they basically had it before. No, how I basically found it at the lot, how it looked and stuff like that. Bro, whoever stole that bike is an absolute fucking dumbass that doesn't know jack shit about riding anything. That, I hope. So basically what had happened is, the reason they were able to find the bike is because they had crashed my bike. It's not like they saw the guy riding it or nothing. They literally crashed my bike. The idiots that stole it, the lowlifes that stole it, crashed my bike, low-sided the bike, broke the casing, the stator cover, so the left, so they low-sided it on a left turn, broke the casing, all the oil leaked out, the bike shut off, obviously there's no oil, it just shuts off. And they said, you know what, this bike's stolen anyways, let's just leave it here, there's no point, whatever, blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, I get my bike, I pay to get it out of the lot, and that's pretty much it. I mean, this is the bike I'm riding now, it's that same bike. I was able to repair the damage. The only thing, I mean, I pretty much did everything myself. The only thing I had to take to a place to do, because I'm not very comfortable with, is the suspension, because the front forks were leaking. And that's a nice Porsche. And I took the forks to get like resealed or whatever. I don't know what they do, but they took it there. I took it there to get it done. And that was it. Everything else I did myself. I had to replace the stator cover. I had to replace the shift pedal on my left foot because that was completely snapped off. I had to get new fairings. They were all cracked and shit, as you guys were able to see in the picture. I got a new stator because I was like, I might as well. So I don't know if it's damaged or not, so let me just get a new stator. That was probably the most expensive part apart from the fairings. And yeah, and now I'm riding the bike. So they were like, oh, that's a sign, you know, you have to sell the bike. To which I said, I counted, I was like, bro, if anything, that's a sign not to sell the bike. Like, you know how many people are able to recover their bikes from being stolen? Like, very few. I don't know what the percentage is, but I'm sure that percentage is very low of vehicle thefts that get recovered. So I was like, dude, if anything, that's a sign to not sell the bike. And yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it, guys. So what lessons did we learn? Number one, immediately after getting the bike back and making it rideable again, I put a GPS tracker on it. Now, obviously, you want to put this in a place where they're not gonna look at. Like, you don't want to put it on top of the battery because, I mean, they're gonna see it and they're gonna take it out. So I got a GPS tracker, put it somewhere on the bike, and then I got, basically it's like brake locks for the front brake. Holy shit. Brake locks for the front brake. Wow, the Volvo's racing the Challenger. That is room temperature, IQ behavior, and the cops are right there, which they're not gonna do absolute jack shit because that guy's literally just chilling. We got the GPS tracker and we got the brake lock. So the brake lock, basically how it works is if you try to move the bike, that brake lock is gonna scream like a banshee. It's a loud ass alarm that's gonna let everyone within freaking 100 yards know, hey, something's happening here that shouldn't be happening. So we got that, and I mean, that's pretty much it. You can't really do anything else. And the reason why I believe that it got stolen is because I was going to the office 5 days a week, and they were able to scout me and basically say, hey, there's this guy that comes in 5 days a week. Maybe, you know, come by and steal the freaking bike. If it would have been 2 or 3 times a week where I would have gone, different days, things like that, there's no way I feel like they would have been able to scout me. So, yeah, I mean, guys, learning lessons. Make sure you try to do as much as you can to deter people from stealing your bike. Obviously, you're never going to have 100% deterrent. The only way to do that is to not have a bike or not ride your bike. And obviously, the reason you have a bike is to ride it, hopefully. So, try to do everything you can to deter someone from stealing it. Secondly, get insurance, man. I know full coverage and stuff like comprehensive and collision is expensive, but especially if you're financing the bike, bro, the last thing you want is to be stuck paying for something that you no longer have. Because now that is a financial crutch that is going to prevent you from being able to get another bike, because you're not going to be able to because, well, you're still paying off the one that they stole. It's just gonna sour the whole experience from you, apart from the fact that, hey, your fucking bike got stolen. So make sure you have the bro, that guy's cutting up. Make sure you have the proper insurance for it, man. Make sure you're fully covered. I know it can be a little expensive, but trust me, it's worth it. Like, especially if you're buying some expensive fucking bike, like, just do it, bro. If you cannot afford it, then just don't get the bike, or try not to put yourself in a position where you can have your bike stolen. Try to always, like, if you're gonna drive it, make sure you always have visibility on it, make sure that you don't leave it unattended, and that way you can always be on top of it. But if you're gonna commute with it and leave it in a garage, in a parking lot, you know, for long periods of time, then yeah, bro, get insurance, bro, trust me. But that's pretty much it. So yeah, don't be like me. You know, learn from my mistakes. A fool learns from his own mistakes. A smart person learns from others' mistakes. Be the smart person. Learn from others' mistakes. Learn from my mistake. that's basically how my bike got stolen. It was a long story. Hopefully you guys managed to stay with us here all the way to the end. And if you guys enjoyed today's video on this chill little night ride, make sure you hit that like button, make sure you subscribe, and let me know what your experiences have been. If you've had a bike, you know, if it has been stolen, if you were able to find it, if not, how'd you deal with it, you know, did you have any insurance on it, things like that. With that being said, ride safe, guys. I'll catch you guys on the next video.